Greetings. I'm here today to talk to you about how does Moore's Law apply to today's computers. I'm here to talk to you about Moore's Law and the effects it has on computing devices. Moore's Law states that the number of transistors on a chip will double about every 18 months. Moore's Law applies to computers today because computers first used vacuum tubes in the 1940s, and we have advanced our technology to the transistors of today's computers. The next development in the late 70s to early 80s was the personal computers. In the 2000s, we now have portable computers that can make phone calls, connect to the internet, play music, and movies. One of the most famous and well-remembered computers of the 1940s is the Electronic Numeric Integrator and Calculator, ENIAC. In 1946, engineers at the University of Pennsylvania's Moore School of Electronics deployed the first modern computer. ENIAC occupied a room 30 by 50 feet, weighed 30 tons, and used 18,000 vacuum tubes. ENIAC was able to add two 10-digit numbers in 0.21 seconds, 50,000 times faster than a human. ENIAC's main purpose was for calculating trajectories for artillery in World War II. In 1952, the presidential race is underway. The candidates are Dwight Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson. Adlai Stevenson is the favorite to win the race. Sid Mickelson of CBS was met by an executive from Remington Rand, the developer of the UNIVAC, and he wanted CBS to air election predictions from their new computer, the UNIVAC. On the night of November 4th, 1952, UNIVAC predicted that Eisenhower would get 438 electrical volts to Stevenson's 93. According to Joule, UNIVAC was off by 1%. In the late 70s to early 80s, we saw a new type of computing appear, personal computers. With a home computer, you can play games, read books, write letters, and create spreadsheets. Personal computers were pioneered by companies such as Apple, IBM, and Radio Shack. Apple's personal computer was the Apple II. The memory capacity of the Apple II was a maximum of 48K. A 5¼ floppy drive could be used to store information and programs and to run applications. Radio Shack's personal computer was the TRS-80. The memory capacity was 32K. A 12-inch video display, 5¼ floppy drives could be used to store information and programs. A cassette player could be used for additional storage. IBM's personal computer was the 5150. The memory capacity was a total of 262K. The 5150 used a new high-speed 16-bit processor, the 8088. The system came with a disk operating system, DOS, and a basic interpreter from Microsoft. Now, here we have a bar chart showing the processor starting from 1971 through 2004. In 1971, we had a total of 2,300 transistors. The next jump is Intel's 8486 with 1.2 million transistors. In 2004, Intel released the Itanium 2 with over 592 million transistors. In 2010, Intel will release a processor with 2 billion processors. You can do more today with cellular phones than just make telephone calls. You can launch a web browser, view websites. GPS devices allow men to not ask for directions anymore, play games, listen to music, or watch movies, send email, exchange pictures with relatives. According to Moore's Law, the number of transistors on a chip will double every 18 months. And how is this important to us? Well, number one, computers of the 40s were bulky, used vacuum tubes, and had limited functionality. UNIVAC was able to predict the outcome of the 1952 presidential election. 3 personal computers of the 70s and early 80s were built with transistors, more affordable and accessible by the average consumer. Today's computers are mobile devices that fit in the palm of our hands, are extremely affordable and versatile. In conclusion, Moore's Law provides incentive to advance computer technology at a rapid pace. Are there any questions? Yes.
How small can a microprocessor be?
The size of a microprocessor can be 0.5 millimeter on a side. It's very small and compact.
How did they move the UNIVAC computer to CBS?
What CBS did was they actually built a prop computer. It was not actually a real computer. It was all lights and bells. The actual computer was in a Remington Rad company office.
What would a personal computer cost in the 70s?
In the 70s to early 80s, the price on a personal computer varied from $1,500 to $10,000 depending on what peripherals you had. If you want a printer, if you want a cassette recorder. And that is the end of the presentation. My name is John Watland. This is presentation for LUT1 for Western Governors University. Thank you.
UNIVAC, the giant electronic brain made only by Remington Rand, takes business statistics from magnetic tape, letters, numbers, and punctuation marks, processing them through its electronic circuits at phenomenal speeds. UNIVAC can compute payrolls electronically, then produce printed checks in a flash. Over 8,000 checks an hour with this high-speed printer. UNIVAC leads the field of electronic computing.